Manners, respect, enough. Manners, respect, enough. People, how is everybody doing? Weather nice. Well, it's getting nice, people. Cause say when it get better, when it get better, people, we are gonna love it even more. Right. Happy birth month to all the people them were born this month. People, um, you know, um, I was looking up today, and not King Cole. Yeah, not King Cole. In born March, people. Not King Cole born March 17. Not King Cole born March 17, 1919 in Alabama. Um, I just okay, so we just touching and not King Cole. I know him will highlight today, but I just have to say there's so much great people right through the year. We can always highlight, right? Right through the year, we have great people within our culture, right? We have so much great people within our culture where we can highlight, but we choose to highlight the worst people them in our culture. Yes, I'm back. Well, I'm never gonna wait. All right, people. So, not King Cole born March. Um, them have a lot of great people born in every month. And that me tell you, say, for we strength go right across the board, right across the universe, people. For we greatness don't stop anywhere. That's just us. The rich history that we have, people. How can we say we don't like ourselves? Eh? All the people are trying to convince we say we're not supposed to like ourselves. How can we not? When we are stupendous people, we're amazing people. All we have to do is just focus on we, What me say? All we should do is focus on us. Let the critics be the critics. Because the critics can be like us. The critics can be like us. Let the critics be the critics. Because the critics can be like us. The critics can be like us. Be unlimited. That is us. And I'm loving it. I'm loving the fact that the greatness of us is in such an abundance. All right, people. Thursday night, and I'm telling you, we're not in a hurry, because the world is already in a hurry, right? The world is already in a hurry, so why should we be in a hurry? When we here and school open, We don't want a student to in a hurry. We want people who just want to relax and listen, learn, understand. You great people. Boy, girl, when will we understand the very fact that with greatness have no limit? And there's so much greatness within us. We shouldn't even have no time of fight against each other. Hmm? People, I'm just looking back on our history and see how great we is. It's refreshing. I love it. I love it. Say there's not a missing moment within our existence where we're not great. You know what I say? And understand that, people. There's no part of history where we're not great. This part we kind of slow down a little bit. What do I mean slow down? Well, pretty much back in the days we used to have greatness right through, right? But now it's one and two greatness. Just like when I said, when I grew up, we used to have like one junk in the neighborhood, would have one one broke shop, one person. Now we have 10 people, 20 people I do the same thing. We had more productive people. Now listen to this lady and she said, you see the soil what we have now? The soil, the dirt, it's not as nutrient as it used to be before. I mean, I tell you the people them when we see all the people them strong, healthy, all them bright, all the people. Look, the original people of us. And that means say if you backtrack past say slavery days, because we did exist before slavery days. Everybody just look like say slavery, slavery, slavery. But greatness was before that. So them the people before them did higher level. The people them before them was higher level. The people before them was higher level. Right now, you can say we water down in a sense. The food is not there. We mental strength is not there. We unity is not there. Family is not there. All of the things that we used to make would be great is not there anymore. That's why I say, okay, the next generation, we want them understand say greatness was always exist. Don't be afraid to be great. Don't be afraid to be smart. Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid of responsibility. Don't be afraid of greatness, because we are. It's written within our DNA, our greatness. Yes? No? It's written, people. We cannot get away from it. We cannot get away from it. No matter how we try or want to, we cannot get away from it, people. It's we embrace ourselves. Well, I'm gonna tell them that when it come that point where we can just look on each other and don't see the danger or have the fear, because we have that, may I tell you. When I walk down the street and I see certain man, certain ways. Me don't know if them have the heart of purity, the heart of clarity, but them know say we are one. Because me don't have the thought to walk around and hurt myself. I not think some me have the thought on me just other than freeing souls, right? Which was, you know, me not have no thoughts. And when me do that, it was a reason for me to do that. It wasn't like them said people told me that it's self-inflicting wounds. But me say some self-inflicting wounds is necessary. Yes? So I don't have the thoughts to go around and hurt people. I would never want those thoughts anyways. That's why I said there's a certain difference between people, right? The monsters is gonna think like monsters, right? The petty toucher them are gonna think like petty toucher. Humans are gonna think like humans. Monsters are gonna think like monsters. So in a few mind, we just look on everybody will walk with 2 foot, like say, with expectation, and again the expectation we have a people. You expect certain things, but if the people them no want to do it, your expectation is just gonna burn you with anger and disappointment. So once you expect everybody to be the same, and at that may I come to understand, right? We look at everybody in every culture to represent the culture in a certain way. But if them culture don't represent nothing, them not have to represent themselves in no way. Again, there's a story about this South Asian lady who went on DR Dominican Republic, and she went missing, right? And they're doing a whole bunch of investigation and everything, and the family come out and say cease and desist. Just just say, you know, she backs up and done, and we'll move on, right? And everybody has said, oh, the family can be so cool. But in a film culture, them have certain way. You can't act a certain way. You can't just be Lego. And there's cultures like that. We used to be that way then. We used to be cultured. So that's why I try to show the next generation have to understand these things. We can water down ourselves and be looked at as ourselves. You see, Booker T. Washington, that's why I say I admire his approach to our greatness. But then you have E.D. Du Bois will come about with his total different perspective on how we're supposed to be. So when people come along and tell you how we're supposed to be and how we're supposed to this and that, they're not talking for us because we don't agree to that. We don't agree to the chopping culture. That's not our culture. Our culture is hard work. If you go look back pam in living colors when them a do Jamaican and Jamaican have 2, 3 jobs, that's us. So oh you can take that out, erase that and say, okay, sitting on the phone and chop and chopping the line, okay, conning people, cause when I make like all of these pretty words and everything make it look okay. Always conning people out of them hard earned money is something that we should all agree to. When our very essence is being stolen. So when them put something on the billboard and say, yes, this is it. KRS One said, when them want to ruin a culture, what them do, them take the worst person from the culture to highlight the culture. Not the great thinkers, not the great minds. Entertainment. Yes. I'm tell you said I don't have a problem with entertainment, but our culture shouldn't be based on entertainment. It should be based on greatness because we are. And everywhere me look, me see it. Tells us Nat King Cole born the 17th of this month. Him a greatness. But how much people you hear actually talk about Nat King Cole in modern society now? These are the things we're supposed to put in the algorithm instead of pure soap opera, pure soap opera, pure entertainment. It's the same thing. If you're not educate the people, then that means it's just entertainment. And we have to understand, just me taking out a couple, deleting a couple subscription and adding a few more, it changes my algorithm. So we can change. I tell you, so when I did I listen for these old times, me never did I hear. Me never know what I did I listen for. But I was listening for something. And then when I start hear it, I feel good, which is me highlighting these great people. And I have no shame within it. Right, people? Now I say lies, 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 right? Lying at everything, lying at everything. Nobody no want to talk the truth. If you talk the truth, everybody will talk the truth. They say, oh, you soon not go hear from him. That's all you hear, Every time you hear somebody talk truth, they say, oh. So the whole world is based on lies. If every time you hear somebody say the truth and somebody say, oh, what that mean? You don't have a conversation, I'm gonna say if you knock on a door and somebody say, oh, it's you. If you knock on somebody's door and they say, oh, it's you, how you feel? Oh, it's me? What that mean? That mean? I'm gonna come on your door or something, or like, and that's when you taught the truth, when anybody taught the truth, people just them just expect, them just know say the person who taught the truth now got the road too long to continue to talk the truth. So the truth must die. That's pretty much, that's what I say. We're born in a sin. All of them things, yeah, it's, I don't know, it's so weird. So the truth must die, and everything that's not true, we have to accept. It's just so weird. All right, so I'm telling you, say every time I step on open up the school, right? There's always something for us to learn, for us to think about, right? Because trust me, when we go through them things, and I think about them, it just open up my mind for see more. And I'm telling you, say all I have to do is just ask for more. Can you ask for more? Can you say more? Can we just put one word in our vocabulary, more? That's our next thing where people afraid of more. It's like them say, oh, you're not allowed to say more. You don't understand? Because every time I talk to people and I say more, it's like, oh, you're saying something different from what everybody's saying? More. I'm saying more. People, it's funny sometimes, It's so funny sometimes. The things and the things that I then teach, if it that's okay for us to say, and the things that's not okay. Same things with rap music. In a rap music, you can't call certain people in a rap music certain things. But once you call them the B words and you use the S word and you end this and Glock this and pow pow this and boom boom that and all of them things, that is go ahead, do it, do it, do it, do it. But if we not talk about certain things, it's no, 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 no. So when me forward open up the school, and I am just a student, I'm gonna say that I am a student in the school, right? So there's always gonna be object. You guys can always not agree with everything and all the people them. I'm gonna say that I don't agree with everything that everybody says. So I don't have to agree with everything that I say. And I just have to listen and understand. Please listen and understand. Again, me say it's not about like me coming out with a whole bunch of bells and drums and stuff like that. It's just me coming on so we can listen, understand, learn, and grow. Change the trajectory so it can be better in the future. Instead of just saying, well, the past, present, future are the same. It's the same if we don't change it. And at that may I come to realize, people, honestly. People, what I say? I have reasoning ability. My whole life, I always have certain skills born in my DNA. Cause I'm telling myself my DNA come from many other DNA, and there's certain knowings within this spirit that I carry to this body, this form, this car, whatever no one can call it. uh, so learning, I love learn. I love to listen to people once them have something that makes sense. Make me understand certain things. So I find this channel, right? It's called Evans from Kenya, right? And now the person I that me not liking of people. The same time you find information on people, you have to give them acknowledgement for what them bring to the table. We don't want to take nothing from nobody, you know, and don't give them what them deserving of people, because that's pretty much how we are treated. So how you can say, like a treatment and then treat people the same way, right? So when we look at these things, find these informations, if me not give them a shout out from the beginning, it's me try to give them out a shout out from the beginning. And if me use them content again, you always give them a shout out again. If I don't, it's because I I forget. I'm not perfect. All right, we always get hammer with I'm not perfect, people. So me always have to say it. Just throw it out there, right? So people not expect no perfection from me. Thank you, because we don't say we're not perfect already, and me not have the savvy to do all of the all the graphic and stuff them yet. But me say it's not about those stuff. It's about what we're listening to and what we're learning from. And then okay, again, me have my subscribers. Me have 105. Thank you guys for the share and the subscription. Much appreciated. Mu- Much appreciate love. Me I take out here out of my vocabulary, but me I use it in a one word. Eh? Much love. How about that? Much love. Now if I put on a appreciate. You know what? Appreciate. All right, people. So I get it from this channel, right? And the content when I get it's actually from TikTok, and it's called. Let me see how good my memory is, people. Come tell you, say once me start get them things, yeah, it's like me just start, you know, it's not just me just coming on and just my brain has to be included, my thoughts and feelings has to be included, and my emotion too. And my emotion is included too, cause sometimes them things are them get to you and you feel like, oh yeah, yes. But me say the journey has to continue. So as we continue, me go up on TikTok and me find him. It was hard finding him, but me say, well, if him find him, Me can't find him too, right? And in the Africa man, and I Google him and I see him have some the stuff that man talk about people I can Google him and see, right? But this particular I didn't take it off TikTok, I take it off of this guy's channel to give him the highlight too, because I tell us say what's the sense we doing this and we not help out each other, right? Big up Debbie Jervis TV, big up producer we on TV, big up um um I'm telling you, so the people that want to subscribe to people, I'm telling you, say, the information them in my head, and it's slowly I will get them out there. So those are two people who encourage me to continue doing what I'm doing. Miss White, Miss Black, and the other people them. Thank you. So that's why I'm gonna say I get it, I give it. Me no want just get it and hold it all. I can't, people. I can't. Come tell you say one of the things where I get to find out in my past, there's people who wanted me to be a bitter person. So they did things for me to be bitter, but they never turned me bitter. That me tell you, make me become a better person. Because you see, I could use the same B for something bad or something good, right? Better, bitter. So I'm resilient. Sometimes the tough people, I have to get over the situations. I get upset, yes, but that's just a moment. I'm gonna do stupid things to get me in a trouble, take away my freedom, hurt people, stuff like those. Okay, so this program now, it's called the title is Young White Man Exposes the Lies Told by European About World and Black. Now I'm tell you say anybody can say anything. Anybody. I can say I'm I'm 300 pound and and nobody sees me. It's true until somebody sees me. You understand? I can say I'm 300 pound and nobody sees me. So it's true. But once they see me, it's a different story because I'm not. So anybody can say anything. Yes? It doesn't have to be true. It just has to be proven. It just has to be proven. That's all. That's why I'm going to say you cannot be confused if you ask questions. The hunger, the hunger people, when I say, are the people that want to take you down in the rabbit hole. And them always are going to say, I'm confused. And when you give them the understanding, right? Them are going to say, I don't understand. And then you have to go explain it again. And then you have to go start split the molecules. And by the time you split so much molecules, you end up exactly where they want you to be. Where you're going to say, man, me give up. That means they win. This is why you don't take the trip into the rabbit hole. Which means the people that might come with them foolishness without listening or understanding anything to throw you off your game, those are the people who want to take you into the rabbit hole. They want confusion. And many times, me on platform, I listen to platform and me just a laugh because I can see it happening. So I find this gentleman pan thing there, on TikTok, and I listen to it already, obviously, and check the comment section. All of them things that people, cause the things where I'm say, again, I'm not gonna hear the things I'm say. But whether we agree with it or not, if we say certain things, we get banned, we get this, we get that, right? We get crucified for the truth, people. So sometimes it's nice to hear somebody else say the truth rather than we a fight to prove to people that it's true, even though the evidence is there. We have a long way to go now, people. We come a long way, but we still have a long way to go because you see, this is the confusion. This is the confusion stage where them. I'm gonna tell you same time I did have my video camera. No phone never have camera. I'm gonna tell you people look on me queer like weird. All of them. What you walking around with a video camera for? You know? It's like no everybody. How comes nobody that me I try to show you? But what me did I do with my video camera, right? It gets lost within so much video cameras now. That's why I say I never want a video camera now. I just want understanding because the video camera was there to clarify certain things. One time I was working on the people them want me dump the grease down on the grease trap and you know say you're not supposed to dump grease in the grease trap. I'm a videotape it blows and skirt and them fire me. Because me wouldn't do what them want to do wrong. Enough times. But me say, look here, you see if you fire me, me still have my principle. You see if me do what you tell me to do, under those circumstances, that means say me not have no principle. I tell you, when me bring in a coat, the man come on me yard, bring me check, come on me yard. The man come on me yard with me check, sit down in the car for around an hour and talk to me. So I'm telling you, say, I always knew. So once me have my proof, I can't lose. You understand that? So now video camera just bombard people with foolish information. Tell you them all have joke, laughing, thing pan TikTok, pan things when they were funny. Stupid, absolute. Me say, and this what them other people. Them are bombard you know with foolishness. But me say AI, or I go on AI, me don't know say AI are the first one step up. I know people. How do I know? How do you know? So I could listen to the money and talk some truth, people.
Europeans didn't conquer anyone because they were stronger, smarter, or superior in any way. They were walking sacks of disease that coughed their way to world domination and then rewrote history to make themselves look powerful. White supremacists love to bring up Hernan Cortes defeating the Aztecs like it was some brilliant military strategy. Let's break down what actually happened. Cortes and his 600 men arrived in 1519. The Aztec Empire had a standing army of hundreds of thousands of men. In a fair fight, the Spanish would have been obliterated. The first battles, Cortes lost. The Aztecs kicked his forces out of Tenochtitlan in 1520 during the Noche Triste, or the Sad Night, forcing him to flee like a scared child. Then came smallpox. The disease brought over by just one infected slave among the Spanish ranks ripped through the Aztecs, killing about 50% of them in just 1 year. The smallpox didn't just kill warriors, it killed priests, generals, and even the emperor himself. By the time Cortes returned in 1521, Tenochtitlan was a rotting corpse of a city. The Spaniards just walked in and mopped up the remains. And yet, some people act like he was a military genius. The truth is, he was getting absolutely destroyed until a virus stepped in and did the work for him. Same thing happened with the Inca Empire.
People. Just have to stop it. Okay, people. All right. This is history now, people. I'ma say how it's written pretty up. Because the people them write it how them want to write it. And them always say the people them will get for write where them want to write. That's why I say once we start encourage each other to write and write our own story, it's gonna change the narrative, people. We used to do that. We used to write. We used to have our own newspaper. We used to keep each other informed. And informed doesn't mean that you're informal. It means you're a communicator, people. That means that you know something or worth telling to somebody else. These people know something that I'm highlighting. Yes? Okay. As we proceed, people.
Destroyed until a virus stepped in and did the work for him. Same thing happened with the Inca Empire. Francisco Pizarro didn't conquer the Incas. He showed up after smallpox had wiped out millions of them and thrown the empire into a civil war. The Inca emperor Huayna Capac and his heir both died from smallpox before they had even heard of the Spanish. This led to a civil war between his two sons Atahualpa and Huascar. Pizarro and his 168 men didn't win against the Incas. They took advantage of a civilization already in chaos, kidnapped the emperor, and murdered unarmed people at the Battle of Cajamarca. You want to act like that's military superiority? That's opportunism at best and genocide at worst. And when disease wasn't fast enough, Europeans weaponized it. The British literally handed out smallpox-infected blankets to natives in 1763.
Yes, we talk about that. Me never deep dive, but me just I tell you, say, this is what they did. People, me are telling us that evil is evil. We do not call evil evil. That's the thing. We don't call evil something else, like pretty, something innocent, something guilt-free. People, we tell us, say, yo, that's the truth, you know, people. The native Indian, the same thing, them get the blanket, them are full of disease. It's a trick. The Trojan horse, people, always come with something nice and pretty. I don't know well no I want big statue, I want ass in a in a building for. Hmm? But that to not have. As we proceed, people. Always some
blankets to natives in 1763. And this wasn't a rumor. British generals wrote about it in their own letters. Nor was it a one-off case. The Europeans knew that their disease was their deadliest weapon and used it. And let's talk about Africa, since you love pretending that Europeans just walked in and took over. Europeans couldn't even get past the coasts for centuries because African kingdoms were too powerful and the climate was too deadly for them. The Zulu kingdom under Shaka Zulu wiped out British forces using nothing but spears and superior battle tactics. The Ashanti Empire held off British colonization for nearly 100 years.
And we did the Ashanti. And them fight them and them fight them and them still never get the golden cheer. As we proceed, people.
How did the British finally win? Not through strength, not through strategy. That's right, through the Maxim machine gun. During the Battle of Omdurman in 1898, British soldiers, armed with machine guns, massacred 10,000 Sudanese warriors and lost only 48 men in one day. That wasn't war, that was slaughter. The second Europeans had guns that could wipe out entire armies in minutes, they stopped pretending to fight fair and turned Africa into a bloodbath. And now you pathetic little keyboard crusaders sit in 2025 and talk about how the Europeans were strong and superior. If they were so strong, why did they need diseases and industrial weapons to win? If they were so dominant, why did they keep losing wars until they could turn battlefields into mass graveyards with machine guns? Your ancestors weren't conquerors. They were plague rats who got lucky. Cope.
Good morning, good evening, and good afternoon, Africans. Today I'm here in the beautiful Africa. I love Africa. Do you love Africa? If you do, please listen to this video till the end and support me on Patreon. Give a super thanks kindly. Yes. Now, there is a white man who is quite interesting, you know. We have a few like this. They don't make like this anymore, you know. God stopped manufacturing them because they are too rare, and the value is found in their rarity or rarity, whatever way you decide. So this gentleman is a white gentleman who is, I don't know how you'll call it. The white people will say he's pissed by being white, and the black people would say he's enlightened. You know, depends on which side you stand. You either see a 6 or you see a 9, but you're still right. Now, this gentleman is coming forth and he is speaking straightforward about the atrocities his people have made against black people, and not only black people, against the entire human race. He says that the white people have robbed humanity of their ingenuity. White people have robbed humanity of their history, their tradition, and they have made it themselves. They have changed it to make it for themselves, you know. I've done some videos where this gentleman speaks about things like rewriting history, making the non-white people become white. For example, I did a video on this specific gentleman where he talked about white people changing the titles of warriors. You know, for instance, the gladiators. The gladiators were not white people; they were mixed race. It was a battalion of mixed people. You know, but the Europeans have changed it to make it purely white, which is very wrong. The Romans were people who are always conquering people. Yeah. So he comes ahead and tells us some other things about US. He tells us about how corrupt or how untruthful the census system is racial. You know, it is racial in a way that it tallies, it imbalances, or rather, it miscalculates the liberty.
Everything lies. Lies. As we proceed, people.
The tally numbers that are acquired from the census to make maybe white people appear more than they really are in the real population. This gentleman has a lot to speak. I want us to listen to him. I shall get back where we shall also have a deep critical analysis. Let's dive in.
The racial categories of the US Census are seriously messed up. If they weren't so violently entrenched in law and economic reality, they would be laughable. This is a state-sponsored racial fan fiction, a bureaucratic kink chart for a ruling class that spent centuries using skin color as a ledger entry for who gets fucked over and who gets let in the door. This entire framework isn't about science, culture, or even history. It's about keeping the empire's taxonomies on labor, land theft, and manufactured racial tensions as operational as a goddamn slave ledger. Let's start with everyone's favorite, white. White isn't a race. It's an access pass to imperial dividends. This category is the most slippery plasticine bullshit the US has ever produced. It shifts and expands whenever capital needs fresh bodies to enforce its racial caste system. 1790, white means Anglo-Saxons, English dudes who can own property and enslave people. 1800s, Irish, Italians, Jews.
I'm not going to sell you a course. I'm just going to give you.
Yeah, people. That me tell you. Anybody can say anything, but it doesn't have to be true. Once you know the truth, it's not the truth. But again, it's not. The truth is not supposed to be told. As we proceed, people.
1800s, Irish, Italians, Jews. Not white. They're too dirty, poor, and potential communists. Then in the 20th century, suddenly America needs more white bodies to fortify its capitalist hegemony. So Italians and Jews got a probationary whiteness card. Congratulations, you can now be racist to black people for a check. In the present day, whiteness is still a floating category, strategically managed to keep capitalism's core demographic strong. Its only consistency? That it's a lie. And how is this determined? Court rulings where judges pulled whiteness out of their ass. In Ozawa versus US 1922, a Japanese man was told he wasn't white because he wasn't Caucasian. In the very next year, in US versus Thin 1923, an Indian man was found Caucasian but still not white because whiteness is whatever the common man says it is.
Oh, people. It's so funny though. As we proceed.
Literal legal racism by vibes. Now to America's least favorite category, Black or African American. Blackness in the US isn't so much an identity as it is a legal wound that you can't escape. The one drop rule made sure of that. Unlike whiteness, which can stretch and contract like a capitalist sphincter, blackness is permanent. Why? Because capitalism needs a fixed bottom caste. The ruling class took an entire continent of peoples, Hausa, Yoruba, Igbo, Zulu, Akan, and smushed them into one category that functions solely as America's bottom tier labor force. A Haitian revolutionary? Black. A Somali immigrant? Black. A mixed race person with a white parent? Still black. This was intentional. The more people that could be funneled into this caste, the more workers could be denied rights, wealth, and mobility.
And that make perfect sense, people. So now I want to understand certain things, people. And understand certain things? I want to don't understand certain things. As we proceed.
The census racial category reinforces this lumping. It doesn't recognize ethnic identity, only economic utility. Asian, a geopolitical dumpster fire of a category. Asian is proof that the census wasn't made for accuracy, it was made for imperial racial policing. Originally, Asian meant Chinese, Japanese, and Korean, because these were the groups most feared by America in its yellow peril propaganda. But later, US war priorities changed, and suddenly South Asians, previously classified separately, were thrown into the mix. Today,
Yes, South Asian. And I said that earlier. That's all. That is coincidental, people? No. As we proceed, school is open. Class is in.
refers to everyone from Filipinos to Arabs to Mongolians. Because the US treats the world like a risk board game where categories are based on whatever the State Department needs at the time. The categories make zero sense historically, biologically, or culturally. What does a Nepalese shepherd have in common with a Tokyo salaryman? Nothing. But according to the US Census, they are racial twins. And let's not forget, Filipinos were originally counted as Malay until the US genocided their country. And suddenly they had to be shoehorned into an arbitrary Asian American identity. This isn't racial science, it's imperial map doodling. Native Hawaiian or other Pacific Islander. Yes, that's one category. This classification exists solely because the US stole Hawaii and colonized the Pacific. Before annexation, Native Hawaiians were sovereign, not a US racial category. But once the US swallowed their islands, the census had to create a new checkbox for them. Because they were no longer Asian, but not quite Native American. It's the most transparent colonial category on the list. The US took entire island nations, put them under military rule, and shoved their people into a racial category classification like an afterthought. American Indian or Alaskan Native? Again, yes. One thing. Let's be clear. Native American is not a race. It's a legal status determined by the federal government. Unlike every other racial category, natives have to prove their ancestry through blood quantum, a literal percentage requirement like their fucking horse pedigrees. Why? Because the US wants to slowly erase native populations through intermarriage and make them legally extinct. That way, tribal land and treaty obligations disappear.
People, again, I said, if we weren't all over the world, If we weren't all over the world, we would have upon one reservoir right now. But pretty much mentally we are. As we proceed, people.
Legal apparatus of native identity is structured around land theft. The more that native is tied to government recognition and not actual ancestry, the easier it is to phase out indigenous land rights. And then lastly, some other race. This is where America hides the evidence that its racial categories are broken. Over 50% of Latinos check this category because they don't fit in any of the other nonsense boxes. Why? Because Latino isn't a race, it's a colonial aftershock. Latin America was built on Spanish caste systems where race was quite fluid. White passing Latinos got elite privileges. Dark skinned Latinos got shoved into plantation labor. Mestizos, mulattoes, and indigenous peoples got thrown into a racial purgatory where their classification was decided by economic status. The US Census inherited this clusterfuck, which is why it refuses to classify Latinos racially, and instead leaves them in a limbo category that proves the whole system is bullshit. The US racial classification system is not science. It's not even consistent. It's a damn capitalist filing cabinet designed to sort laborers, allocate oppression, and justify imperial expansion. The only thing it categorizes with 100% accuracy is who gets fucked over and who gets a free pass. This shit isn't fixable. It's not a mistake or a quirk of history. It's a designed tool of power, and the only rational response is to throw it into the fire and build a world where race is not a government-enforced hierarchy, but an actually material understanding of history, culture, and class.
So I believe you've heard this gentleman. What do you think of him? Is he a pessimist against white people, or is he a man who is enlightened and he's out here? God is using him, to represent the truth, despite his people hiding the truth from the rest of humanity, particularly the black people. What do you think? Is he enlightened, or is he a pessimist against the black people? Share with me the thoughts in the comment section. I'd love to hear from you. So this gentleman is telling us about racial injustices. But now I want to tell you something. Why have the whites always been putting themselves in wrong places or in right places that don't belong to them? Again, it depends with how you look at it. Wrong or right might be right depending on who you ask. But we have the objectives, the objective morality, the objective right, and the objective wrong, So I'm asking you this with an objective view. Do you think Europeans are right, or rather white people are right, with changing the history how it is? Do you think they're right by changing the numbers? Do you think they have the ability of altering nature as the same way they have altered history? They're here, outside here, changing numbers. They're here changing history. They're here changing books. They're here changing Bible verses. I'm told many times that King James, who is a white man, rewrote the Christian Bible, and he changed some things. He changed some wordings. He changed the semantics, and also he changed the syntax, how words are arranged. How you arrange words in a sentence will affect it in such a way that the sentence will have ambiguity, where it will start to have multiple meaning, and once it starts having multiple meaning, it breeds confusion, and when confusion is met, truth does not exist, because truth does not exist.
People, are you with me? This is why I'm saying you have to ask questions. You have to ask questions to understand people. You hear the man say, King James Bible was changed. Originally changed. We make the words them. This is why we have confusion. And that me say, how can you read a book and 10 different people have 10 different idea of the meaning? I'm telling you, sometimes, people, it's because when you not listen to understand certain things, this is why I come off that way, right? As we proceed, people.
And when confusion is met, truth does not exist, because truth does not exist on confusion. Truth is only one version. You can't have two versions of truth.
That me say that. This is what I'm saying, though. That's one of the things that I said. You can't have 10 different answer. You have to have one answer. As we proceed, people.
Existed. If you know a truth that has confusion, please tell me. I love to listen from you. You know. So this gentleman, is he right in calling out his people, or is he wrong? You as a African American, you as an African, or you as a white person, whoever is watching this video, what is your perspective on this white individual? I want to hear from you. And many times, or rather, what do you think would be the purpose of this guy to alter history of white people? Sorry, what do you think they gain from this? They do this because of white superiority. They want to fuel, they want to satisfy that fallen spirit, that fallen ideology that was there in the past, that brought about colonialism, that brought about slavery. They want to fuel it up, or rather, they want to keep it standing, because it was through this white superiority that they were able to colonize us, that they were able to enslave us as well. So keeping lying, keeping showing themselves as the strongest figures in history, keeping changing numbers of population is here to scare us. But no, we ain't going to get scared, not anymore. Black people and other races know the right, have the right, and will always have the right to the truthfulness of situations and the truthfulness that history has. You know, you only hide when you have something to hide. The guilty will always be afraid and they'll try to hide. If you ain't guilty, you won't be afraid and you won't have nothing to hide. White people who wrote history, some of them were very malicious. They lied so many times in order to satisfy the desire of their masters. But now, through this white man, we are able to get enlightened. Yes. I want.
Look, first of all, I thank him for to be honest and his breakdown of history. But again, history is there. This a man you just go read and study, you know. We not do that. We not read. We not study nothing. We are wait for somebody to read it for we. That's the difference. So just like how I go through them things here and I highlight them things here, highlight all the great people. That's how we have to do, you know. That's me doing my little part. Hopefully you guys will do a phone a little part by liking and sharing, subscribing to the channel, help the channel grow because we're gonna keep on expanding. Right, people? Thank you guys for stopping by again. It's so important for us to be aware of who we are. Be unlimited. That's who we are. People, there's always more to come. I'm out.